Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for being here with us today. We are so honored to have so many of you here all at once to spend the next 3 days with us. We're so grateful for the city of Denver for hosting us. I'm Eddie Torres. I'm CEO of Grantmakers in the Arts. And I want to start out by acknowledging the land. We're on the land of the Ocheti, Shakowin, the Seven Council Fires, the Cheyenne, the Arapaho peoples, the Ute people, or Nue Aga Tuvu Pul, and other tribes who made their homes in the region. If there are additional tribes of the Denver land that we've not acknowledged, please share more information about them with us. I say this out of respect, but also recognizing my own ignorance as somebody who is not Native American. And I also say that in the spirit of this conference, because we're here to learn, and you're here because you're willing to do this courageous thing that is learning throughout your entire lives. And I really believe that learning, that being a lifelong learner, is a heroic act. It's an act not just of humility, but of courage. And ultimately, I would like for all of us to treat each other as we're learning in the spirit of heroism and say, I see you learning and I honor you for that process. So thank you for being here and I honor you for this process. I want to say a big thank you to the Conference Planning Committee. Again, in the spirit of ignorance, we enter these communities recognizing we're outsiders. It's the local stakeholders who really know what's happening and who are going to make this conference what it is. I want to thank our co-chairs, Gary Stoyer from the Bonfils Stanton Foundation, Ginger White Brunetti from Denver Arts and Venues. Thank you. I want to thank our other Conference Planning Committee members, Ken Grossinger from Cross Currents Foundation, Margaret Hunt from Colorado Creative Industries, Dariana Navas-Nieves from Denver Arts and Venues, and Cheryl Zimlick from Bohemian Foundation. Thank you. I want to thank the Grantmakers in the Arts Board, led by the always calm, cool, and collected Glenn Northington from Propel Nonprofits. Thank you, Glenn. And I want to thank the GIA team, Steve Klein, Jessica Corparan, Carmen Graciela Diaz, Sylvia Jung, Champ Connect, Sherilyn Seeley, and the always incomparable Nadia Alokta. Thank you. And I also want to thank our volunteers. You know, I've just named our entire staff. So, you know, we're able to do this because people actually take their time and do this with us for free. And so I want to say thank you to Sarah Safari, Adrielle Long, Cheryl Ann Colton, Laura Kales, and Brad DeBias. Thank you. We're doing various things in the spirit of experimentation all the time, and yet my team hasn't quit. And so one of the things that we're doing for the first time is in the conference program, you can actually see the categories, the thematic categories for each of the conference breakout sessions. So whether it's racial equity or capitalization, support for individual artists, arts and education, or arts at the intersection of other content issues, you can actually follow that along in your program to help you to curate your experience with us. And again, we're hoping that that makes this a more rich learning experience for you. For those of us who are on the GIA team, we'll have this navy blue logo. It's this really sexy color that you can only usually see on like a bridesmaid dress or that curtain that separates first class from coach. And I want to get this morning started by saying a great big thank you to the city of Denver and welcoming Deputy Mayor Happy Haynes. Deputy Mayor?
He didn't know he was going to get a hug first thing this morning. Hello, all of you, and welcome to Denver, the Mile High City. I am so delighted to be here to welcome you this morning on behalf of Mayor Michael Hancock and the whole city of Denver. A shout out and a thanks to Ginger and Gary, your local hosts. Give them another hand. And on behalf of the Mayor's Office of Denver Arts and Venues, we welcome you to Denver and to this very important conference. A couple of logistics I always like to start out with when I am welcoming people to Denver. First, we have ordered some great weather for you today. Secondly, while you are here, you must drink lots of water. We are a mile high, and the good news is, for those of you who care, you are a mile closer to heaven. And did I mention drinking a lot of water? It does matter when you're at this altitude, so please do that and enjoy the wonderful weather and the wonderful environment here in Denver. We are so honored to host the 2019 Grant Makers in the Arts Convention. Denver is a perfect laboratory for the important conversations that you will have here today about where the arts are going in our country and in our world, how best to engage an increasingly diverse nation. And I thank you, Eddie, so much for honoring our original people, our indigenous people, as it's a great start to any gathering, and so we very much appreciate that. We know that you're going to be talking about how to use a variety of forms of investment in culture, all anchored in equity. And I underscore that word investment, because a lot of people like to think that this is charity, and investing in the arts and in culture is charity, but in fact, it's our lifeblood. And so we're investing in our future by investing in arts and in culture. It's important that we make sure that everyone has a chance to participate in, experience, and benefit from sharing in the rich culture of the places they call home. Working together across the public and private sector is one way we can ensure that we are providing opportunities, making the statement that arts and culture are important, and rally together to share with and learn from one another. Not only within the field of cultural funding do we see valuable experiences, but culture also permeates other areas: education, health and wellness, business, community development, housing and homelessness. And as the Executive Director of Parks and Recreation, it's a vital part of the work that we do with arts and culture in our outdoor experiences. Denver is dedicated to the growth and sustenance of our arts and culture scene. And Denver has a long history of being supportive of the arts. Rumor even has it that Denver had a theater before it had a hospital. In 2016, along with 6 other metro counties, Denver voters opted to renew a 0.1% sales tax that is distributed to more than 300 scientific and cultural organizations in the Denver metro area. The SCFD still today is a real treasure in Denver, in the Denver metro area. Denver also sets aside 1% of every capital improvement project over $1 million towards the creation of public art. From the blue Mustang, I hope that you saw, that greeted you when you arrived at Denver International Airport, to the big blue bear that's peering into the Colorado Convention Center. I don't know what it is about the blue. Maybe it's our blue sky that that inspires everyone. But we have more than 400 pieces of art in our public art collection. That's an art collection that is open 24/7, 365 days a year. And that collection surprises and delights residents and visitors and beautifies every city council district in our city. Denver doesn't stop there. The city and county of Denver has some really amazing cultural assets in our portfolio, including, and you must visit there, the Denver Art Museum, the Denver Museum of Nature and Science, the Denver Zoo, the Denver Botanic Gardens, the Denver Performing Arts Complex, McNichols Civic Center Building, Red Rocks Park and Amphitheater, the Colorado Convention Center, and the Denver Coliseum. Through Denver Arts and Venues, we also oversee Denver's cultural programs and initiatives that include Denver's cultural plan, Imagine 2020, the Five Points Jazz Festival, and Art Drop Denver. The city is also very much committed to supporting our creative entrepreneurs and developing economic opportunities through things like our Denver Urban Arts Fund, Imagine 2020 grants, P.S. You Are Here, placemaking grants, the Safe Creative Space Grant Fund, and many others. We are also working with the state of Colorado to support individuals and businesses in our growing music scene. In short, we know that the arts strengthen a city. We know that the arts enhance our community's well-being, our community's health, our community's spirit. And we know that the arts just invigorate our lives. So we are committed to making sure that the arts continue to grow and to thrive here in Denver, in the state of Colorado, and across this nation. I hope that while you are here, that you take a moment to explore our wonderful city and help us celebrate, and to help us celebrate the arts and culture in our community. And now I would like to introduce Margaret Hunt, Colorado Creative Industries Executive Director, a wonderful partner with all of our arts organizations in our state. Margaret.